Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Yasmin Aftab Ali, channel Yasmin Aftab Ali and program Yasmin Aftab Ali के साथ. We are today going to talk about the war between Russia and Ukraine and the direct impact on the economy of Pakistan. We are also going to talk about who are the real profiteers of this war. Pakistan has been importing 39% of the total wheat requirement from Kyiv, a supply line that has been totally disrupted due to the invasion of Russia into Ukraine. Further, Pakistan has also been importing corn, barley, grain, seeds, and other edible oils from Kyiv. Now, with the invasion of Ukraine, Pakistan has had to look towards more expensive venues to import these products and relevant raw materials, which has led to a spike in an economy which is already overburdened by debt and inflation. The inflation has increased, the production cost has gone up, so the production itself has fallen down because the consumer buying power is low. Now, 28% of our polyester fiber was being exported to Kyiv, and that export has also been hit very badly. Now, what very few people know is that the T-80UD tanks were up for maintenance and repairs, which were brought from Pakistan from Ukraine in 1996. But it was the same point at which Russia invaded Ukraine, and they are now the required maintenance and repairs have not been done. It is not possible in the given circumstances. Now, if we see which are the two major segments that have benefited from this war, first are the defense suppliers, majority of which are US based, and second are the hedge funds. Let's talk first about the defense suppliers. Billions of dollars worth of military equipment has poured into Ukraine since Russia launched dozens of missile strikes into Ukraine, marking the start of its first full-scale military invasion in the country. Whether it is state-of-the-art tanks and missile systems, or they are helicopters, helmets, ammunitions, rounds, or various kinds of military hardware, the vast majority comes from United States. They are the main producers. As the war continues, US military aid to Ukraine has risen to a staggering 37.6 billion US dollars, the largest amount of military aid given to Ukraine. And with the Pentagon looking to compete with China by accelerating arms sales to allies, there seems to be a long road ahead of us with no end in sight. The European Union has given Ukraine 5 billion US dollars in aid, which is the first time the bloc has armed a non-member country. Now, who is benefiting from this war? US defense contractors such as Lockheed Martin, such as General Dynamics, such as RTX are the main beneficiaries, because they have been given orders of hundreds of thousands of artillery rounds, hundreds of Patriot missiles, interceptors, and a surge in order for armored vehicle, which is an ongoing process in a war zone which is expanding not only here but also between Palestine and Israel. Since 2023, the new contracts to supply Ukraine directly goes to the US defense organizations, which produce these organizations and send it to Ukraine. And the revenue is flowing into these big defense firms. Now, this is really interesting that the aid is given, some must be free, some may be in form of some kind of a loan, and then Ukraine is placing orders to America, back to America, and getting all the required military produce and the materials required to fight the Russians. The global arms by the United States have increased from 33% to 40% till 2022, from 2018 to 2022, as compared to the past 5 years. And these figures I'm quoting from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Meanwhile, Russia, since it has invaded Ukraine, since it is fighting, it has increased its military spending to 175%. Now, that is huge. The second segment, which has really profited, are the hedge funds. Hedge funds have emerged as some of the biggest winners in the global food price spike that followed Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The world's 10 biggest hedge funds have in this slot, since Russia invaded Ukraine to date, have made a communal profit of 2 billion US dollars. That is huge. Global Times states, and I quote unquote, in many cases, Washington uses its foreign policy to provoke chaos and confrontation, artificially creating a demand for more arms in many countries. By constantly promoting narratives such as the Russia threat and the China threat, the US government has helped US arms dealers boost the sales of military equipment, making it the biggest broker for the US arms industry. We may say that this is a general statement, and in a number of cases it may be true. But in the case of Russia and Ukraine, to be very honest, dear friends, US had nothing to do with it. It was Russia that invaded Ukraine. It was Russia who invoked a situation where other allies who do not support this kind of an invasion into Ukraine, an independent country by any standards, had to help them out, so to speak. And that started a war between whether you have better weapons, whether we have better weapons, whether our equipment is more and more updated, and whether yours is more and more updated. And where it is going to end, we don't know. Except a lot of fat geese have made a lot of fat bucks over here. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I beg leave, and with a last line. I often hear somebody's misfortune is somebody else's fortune. But at what cost? A question for all of us. Till the next time, Khuda Hafiz.